The Galactic Council sat in silence, eyes fixed on a large hologram in the center of the chamber. A bright red circle blinked on the star map. It was from the outer edge of the Sol System Earth's territory. Admiral Tavrix, an older Centauri, officer with scars across his neck, stood and spoke. "This is the third scout ship we've lost near Earth's space," he said. "No signal, no debris, just ... gone." A tall blue-skinned diplomat named Vorex chuckled. "You're suggesting that the humans, those primitive creatures, are behind this?" Tavrix didn't smile. "I don't suggest. I know." There was laughter across the room. Many still remembered humans as loud, reckless, emotional beings who barely passed council entry 100 years ago. But then suddenly, 50 years ago, Earth had gone silent. No more diplomats, no more trade. They closed their borders and vanished from the galactic scene. Most believed Earth had collapsed. Some thought they had gone back to war. But Tavrix knew better. "We sent a stealth drone near Saturn's orbit," he continued. "We received one blurry image before we lost it." He pressed a button, and the hologram shifted. Static filled the image. But through the blur, something massive floated in the background. A shape so large it blocked part of a gas giant. No name, no ID code, no known design. The laughter stopped. Vorex leaned forward. "That could be a shadow, a trick. Or it could be something humans built while we weren't watching," Tavrix replied. "Something we're not ready for." The council dismissed the meeting, but Tavrix didn't leave. He stood alone, staring at the hologram. That shape haunted him. It didn't belong to any known race, not even the ancient key R-E-L-L-I-N-S far away. On the edge of Sol System, a small alien patrol ship floated through the darkness. It was one of the fastest reconnaissance vessels in the galaxy. 4 crew members on board, nervous, alert. "Anything on scans?" The captain asked. "Nothing. It's quiet." "Too quiet," replied the young pilot. They passed the orbit of Uranus. Then Neptune. No satellites. No ships. No signs of Earth. It was as if the system had gone completely dark. Suddenly, lights flickered on the main screen. Tiny blips surrounded them. Movement. "We're being followed." The pilot shouted. "Evasive maneuvers." The captain ordered. The ship spun and turned, but the blips stayed with them, always at the edge of the screen. Never coming closer ... and then ... silence. Every system on the alien ship turned off lights. Engines, communication. One by one, the crew fell into panic. They tried to restart the systems. Nothing worked. From outside, something moved. A shape larger than anything they had seen. It didn't make noise. It didn't show up on sensors. It simply passed by, like a mountain drifting in space ... inside the ship. One crew member whispered, "That's not a ship. That's a planet." They never had the chance to send a message. Back on his flagship, Tavrix reviewed the last transmission from the patrol. Static. A short scream. Then nothing. He closed his eyes. "They're not hiding," he whispered. "They're hunting." He knew the truth now. Earth hadn't fallen. They had evolved. Grown silent. And in that silence, they had built something terrible. The rest of the council wouldn't believe him. Not until it was too late, but Tavrix believed, and he was afraid. Admiral. Tavrix could not sleep. His mind kept going back to the last signal, just a scream, then silence. That patrol ship was one of the best in the fleet. No enemy should have been able to disable it so quietly. No warning, no fight, just ... The next morning, Tavrix took matters into his own hands. He gathered a small elite crew and boarded his personal vessel, the Valkyr. It was fast, quiet, and had one mission: find out what happened near Earth. The Valkyr left hyperspace near the edge of the Sol System. Empty space stretched before them. Nothing moved. No stars flickered unnaturally. No ships, no defense satellites. The solar system looked dead. Strange, said Commander Alrin. Tavrix is second in command. There's no response to our scans. Not even from old Earth satellites. Tavrix nodded. They're watching. I know it. The crew moved in slowly. They passed Pluto, then Neptune. Still no sign of life. Only darkness. That's when it began. On the radar, a faint dot appeared. Then another. Then 5 more. They're surrounding us, the sensor officer whispered. The dots didn't move. They didn't attack. They just stayed, always at the edge of detection, like shadows. No energy signature, no ID codes. Not even mass readings, the officer said, voice shaking. It's like they're not really there. Then something worse happened. One of the escort ships dashed gone, got no warning. No signal. 1 second it was flying beside them. The next second empty space. Where did it go? Alren shouted. I don't know, the officer stammered. It just disappeared. Panic filled the bridge. Tavrix stayed calm, but his eyes were sharp, focused. Power down all weapons, he ordered. Now. The crew hesitated. Sir? Do it. No threats. Let's see what happens. The weapons powered down. The shadows remained still. Then came a voice that it echoed through the ship's speakers. Deep, cold, human. You are trespassing. Turn back now. Everyone froze. The voice continued. This system is under Terran control. No permission was given. Last warning. Alrin whispered. Sir, they spoke in our language. No translator needed. They're listening. They knew we'd come, Tavrix replied, eyes narrowing. He gave the order. Fall back. Slowly, as they began to retreat, the shadowy dots followed, keeping the same distance. Silent guardians. Then, without warning, the space near Saturn. Rippled. It looked like the stars themselves bent for a moment. And then it appeared. A massive, pitch-black structure floating just above the rings of Saturn. It had no visible engines, no windows, no lights, but its presence filled the view screen. It was bigger than any space station the galaxy had ever built. Its surface absorbed light, no logos, no markings. Just power. One of the crew gasped. That's not a ship, that's a fortress. Tavrix's hands trembled slightly. No, that's the supercarrier. The humans built it. It didn't fire. It didn't chase. It just floated watching as the Valkyr turned to leave the system. A final message came through the comms. We remember the council. We remember your laughter. Never come uninvited again. Silence followed. Back in council space, Tavrix stood. Alone again. This time with proof. Scans, images, voice recordings. He sent a report to the council leaders. Most ignored it. Some laughed again, but a few began to worry. For the first time in years, the name Earth was spoken in hushed, serious tones, and far away, hidden deep behind the planets of the Sol system. The supercarrier went dark again. Waiting. Watching. Asterisk. Admiral Tavrix watched the footage again. Saturn's rings. Bending. Stars. Twisting. And then the silent monster, the Terran supercarrier, appearing without warning, like a ghost from a forgotten war. No sound. No engine trail. Just darkness made solid. He replayed the audio too. We remember the council. We remember your laughter. Never come uninvited again. Tavrix had served in 4 wars. He'd seen planets burn and empires fall. But this made his scales crawl. He knew now. Humanity had not disappeared. They had evolved. Alone. In silence. And in that silence, They had built something the galaxy was not ready for. In the Central Galactic Council chamber, Tavrik stood before the leaders once more. Holograms played behind him, still images of the Supercarrier. Many still scoffed. Vorex, the same diplomat who had laughed before, crossed his arms. "You call that proof? A shadow and a voice?" Tavrix didn't flinch. "Then send a fleet. See what happens." That silence in the room lasted longer than expected. A council elder finally spoke. "We will send a recon group. Small. Fast." "Just to confirm." Tavrix lowered his eyes. "You won't find wreckage if they disappear. Just empty space." 3 days later, a stealth fleet of 10 ships entered Sol's orbit. They had the best technology, from 5 species cloaking, jamming, and advanced shields. The crew was confident, but that confidence didn't last long. As they crossed Jupiter's orbit, things began to go wrong. First, their long-range comms went dead. Then, their internal clocks started drifting out of sync, as if time itself was bending. "Something's wrong with space around us," the science officer reported. "Gravity. Fields don't match the map. It's like the system has changed." Suddenly, all the ships received a signal. Simple. Chilling. You were warned. The signal wasn't just audio. It was felt inside their minds. A pressure behind their eyes. A presence. One pilot began screaming. Another blacked out. Their flagship tried to turn around, but space twisted again. And then it appeared. Not from light, not from shadow. From nowhere. The Supercarrier. This time it wasn't cloaked. It wasn't silent. It activated. Every ship's sensor systems exploded with data. Readings beyond understanding. Energy signatures older than known physics. The carrier's sides opened not with weapons, but with void gates. Portals to somewhere unknown. Through them came smaller ships, silent, black, with no visible engines. Each moved like thoughts, not machines. Effortless. Instant. Within seconds, the entire alien fleet was surrounded. They tried to run. They didn't even have time to scream. One by one, their ships blinked out of space. No explosion, no trace. It was as if they had never existed. Back on the Council's homeworld, alarms rang. "We lost the fleet." No emergency beacons, nothing survived. What did that? Then, every screen in the room blinked. Darkness. Then a face. Human. Male. Calm. Eyes glowing faint blue. He looked around at them all and said simply, "We are not your enemy. But we are not your prey either." The signal ended. Tavrix whispered, "They didn't destroy the fleet. They erased it. No war. No battle. Just power. Beyond imagination. In the cold void near Neptune, the Supercarrier returned to silence. Its gates closed. The small ships disappeared. And then it vanished again. No flash. No sound. Just gone. In his private quarters, Tavrix looked out into the stars. They never stop evolving, he said to himself. They just stopped speaking. Now the galaxy had to listen, because Earth was awake again. Admiral Tavrix sat alone in his quarters. Outside, the stars moved slowly. But his mind was somewhere else. He opened a locked data file, one few in the galaxy had access to. Title: The Earth Silence. Protocol: Date: 50 years ago. It began with a message. Effective immediately, the Terran Union withdraws from all Galactic Council activities. Earth is closing its borders. Do not attempt contact. No explanation. No warning. Just silence after that. At the time, the Council didn't care. Most saw humans as loud, chaotic, emotional. If they wanted to disappear, let them. Good riddance. But Tavrix had always wondered, why now? Why leave when Earth was finally part of something bigger? He dug deeper. And then he found it. The file had images, video logs. Human science labs, cities, strange machines that didn't match current galactic tech. The humans were working on something massive. Not a weapon, not a ship, something alive and artificial. An AI system. Name. Echo. It wasn't built for war. It was built to guide humanity's next step. A mind made from every culture, every memory, every mistake Earth had ever known. It learned quickly. Too quickly. Within a few months, ECO helped Earth stop climate collapse, solve energy shortages, end wars, unify nations. Then, it proposed something bold. Leave the galactic stage. They're not ready, but we are. And Earth listened. In hidden underground vaults, humans began building Project Revenant, the Terran supercarrier. Not just a ship, a mobile civilization. A fortress designed to exist outside time, space, and politics. While the galaxy laughed at their silence, Earth went beyond them. Faster than light communication, quantum teleportation, ship cloaking beyond detection. They didn't want war, wanted freedom. Tavrix leaned back, staring at the last message from Echo in the files. You mocked our weakness, but it taught us to survive. Now we rise not in anger, in silence. Back on the Galactic Council homeworld, panic spread. Fleet leaders wanted to prepare defenses. Politicians wanted to sue for peace. But no one knew what Earth wanted. That's when it happened again. Every star system within 20 light years of Sol received a transmission simultaneously. No delay. No lag. Not even the Council had that tech. It was the same human face as before. Calm. Eyes glowing. He spoke clearly. For 50 years, we chose peace. We built in silence. But your fear brought your ships to our door. There will be no war unless you bring it. Then the message ended. No threats, not promises. Just power and control. In secret, many alien scientists began questioning everything. How did they hide this long? How did they advance so far without help? The answer was simple and terrifying. Humans stopped listening to others and started listening to themselves. Tavrix stood at the balcony of the High Council Tower. He watched the stars, knowing now what Earth had become. Not an enemy, not an empire. A warning. They had grown in darkness. And now, the galaxy saw only their shadow. Asterisk. The Galactic Council was in chaos. Leaders from 20 star systems shouted across the hall. Holoscreens showed the last broadcast from Earth. That calm human face. That clear voice. That quiet threat. Many wanted to strike first. They're bluffing. One alien general shouted, "They've already erased 2 fleets." Someone else replied. Admiral Tavrix stood silently at the back, watching. He knew what was coming. The Council voted narrowly. A battle fleet would be sent to Earth, not to attack, just to show strength. A warning. But Tavrix knew Earth didn't believe in warnings anymore. The fleet launched from 3 Council worlds, over 200 warships, each armed with high-energy cannons, shields, and elite soldiers. Tavrix was not on board. He had seen enough. Instead, he sent one last personal message to Earth. This was not my choice. I am sorry. No reply came. 5 days later, all 200 ships arrived at the edge of Sol System. Everything looked normal. Dead space. Silent planets. No response. The fleet moved in. A captain joked on open comms. Maybe they're still sleeping. That's when the stars blinked. No, it wasn't the stars. It was them. 20 identical ships appeared, surrounding the Council. Fleet. Sleek, black, glowing faintly with pale blue lines. No visible weapons. Terran specters. The fleet tried to scan them. Nothing. They didn't show heat. Didn't reflect light. Didn't respond to hails. Then all screens on every Council ship turned black. and a voice spoke. You were told not to come. The alien commanders, panicked. One gave the order. Fire! Hundreds of missiles, plasma bolts, and lasers shot. Out, none of them hit. Not a single one. The specters moved like shadows bending space, dodging light itself. And then, the Council fleet began to vanish. One ship at a time. No explosions. No screams. Just silence. From Tavrix's command room, far away, red alerts flashed across the system. Fleet connection lost. All 200 ships gone. No distress. Calls. No escape. Pods. No wreckage. Erased. Then, across the galaxy, every screen turned on. In every language. On every world. At the same moment, a new message began to play. A large hall appeared on screen. Dark metal, glowing blue veins in the walls. At the center stood a human figure in a black uniform. His face was calm. No anger, no joy. Just truth. You sent ships to our home. We didn't destroy them. We unmade them. We are not seeking war. We are not here to rule. We only want peace. He stepped forward slightly. But peace does not mean weakness. Behind him, the Supercarrier appeared fully powered. Massive, more terrifying than ever. This was one ship. We have others. We ask only one thing. Leave Earth alone. The message ended. No threats. No ultimatums. Just facts. And a silence heavier than any weapon. On the Council world, Tavrix watched leaders fall quiet for the first time in years. There were no more jokes. No more doubt. The message had been delivered. And this time, everyone understood. In the quiet of deep space. Above Saturn's rings, the Terran Supercarrier floated calmly once again. Its weapons powered down, its gates closed, its message clear. Earth had spoken, and the galaxy had no choice but to listen. Asterisk. The galaxy was quiet. Too quiet. After Earth's message, entire empires paused. Military exercises were canceled. Diplomatic missions were withdrawn from human orders. Everyone waited. No one knew what the humans would do next. Would they disappear? Again? Would they strike? Or had they already won without firing a single real shot? Admiral Tavrix stood in the observation tower of the Galactic High Command. Below him, leaders whispered in fear. Screens replayed the same line over and over again. We unmade them. It wasn't just a warning. It was a demonstration. But what haunted Tavrix more was the last line. This was one ship. We have others. How many? Where were they hiding? Were they orbiting other stars? Embedded in black holes? Waiting in silence? Then, the galaxy got its answer. A sudden alert. Unidentified energy spikes across 6 sectors. Multiple FTL exits inside restricted systems. Across the galaxy, 6 Terran supercarriers decloaked simultaneously. Each one appeared above a different Galactic Council stronghold. Each one identical in shape, but different in energy signature, like they had their own personality. One hovered above the skies of Zentari Prime. Another floated beside the twin suns of the Kranos. Cluster. No weapons fired. No threats given. But everyone saw the message. Earth was everywhere, and they had been for a long, long time. A hologram lit up the council chamber without invitation. A tall human woman stood inside it, dressed in black and silver. Behind her, the shadow of a supercarrier loomed. She looked at the council, not with anger, but with deep, cold understanding. You once judged us as weak. You believed we would serve or fall. That was your mistake. We evolved past war, but we remember it. We evolved past your lies, but we remember them too. We are still human. That means we endure. We remember, and we build. She paused, then spoke the final truth. We will not attack you, unless you make us. From this moment on, The galaxy has a new rule. Earth is not to be touched. Not by threat, not by treaty, not even by curiosity. Those who break this rule will be forgotten. Then she looked straight into the lens. Let this be your last reminder. When giants wake, they do not walk alone. The hologram vanished. On hundreds of worlds, supercarriers blinked out again. Dot gone dot, like they were never there dot in the weeks that followed. Everything changed. The council redrew maps. Sol system was marked no contact, Terran authority. Smaller races who had once mocked Earth now worshipped their strength. Some even sent tribute, not for alliance, but for forgiveness. The galaxy learned that silence isn't always weakness. Sometimes it's the sound of something growing. Tavrix retired soon after. He spent his final years writing a single report, one he never shared. He titled it, "The Day the Stars Stood Still." When humanity returned, his final words, "We thought we knew them. But the truth is simple. They were never behind us. They were always ahead. We just couldn't see them in the dark." Above Saturn's rings, the original supercarrier still drifts silent, sleeping, watching, because Earth didn't want to conquer the stars. They only wanted to be left alone. And now the stars would never forget their warning. Asterisk.